G'day guys, we've been on the road almost 10 months now and we thought it was about time to give you 10 things that we wish we knew before travelling Australia.
G'day, we are Bo Maddie and this is Luna. We've ditched the 9 to 5 to chase our dreams of travelling Australia. Come with us as we explore this incredible country. Let's just get stuck right into it. You don't need a big rig. I know, don't get me wrong please, we're not judging if you have that big van or anything like that. This is just our experience. We've had camper trailers, hybrids, swags, and then this massive caravan. And it's taken us this long to try and figure out what we actually like and don't like. So she's a long road to find what you do and don't like. But we've realised we don't like that big setup. We really want to condense that because we love trying to find those roads and just heading down them no matter what's down there and get to those real remote locations. And we've just found that it's just limited us really this time. We just haven't veered off as many tracks as we were hoping. We just found that we had that limitation. We'd not known if we could turn around and stuff like that. So moving forward, I don't think we would go that big again at this stage. But that's just our thing. It didn't come down to on-road, semi-off-road or off-road. It came down to just that whole size, like going down a track that's quite narrow or, has a dead end at the end. How do you get out? How do you turn around and stuff like that? So it's not so much about what you own in that aspect, but just the width and length and stuff like that really played a part in limiting us. Brief intermission on that one. Luna knocked over the camera setup. As you can see, she's now in the car secured. It is a bit warm with that sun anyway, so it's good to probably get her out of the sun, to be honest. Let's jump into the second one. What is it?
So, Wiki Camps.
I don't know if a lot of people think about it, but me personally, I wish, as we were looking for that inspiration with other YouTubers and stuff like that, when we watched it all the time, I wish I actually downloaded Wiki Camps straight away and saved all those camps that other travellers were suggesting and stuff like that. Because you can actually go onto Wiki, search what the name was, and you can press a heart button, which will save it in your favourites. And then you're going to have it for later and, not try and remember. I think it's invaluable to do that. I think it's $8 to buy the app now.
I think it's bumped up to 9 or 10, but it's a one-off fee.
Damn inflation. But it's 100% honestly worth it. It's our Bible. We use it daily. We find so many great things with it. It isn't just campsites, but I really do wish that we had started that at the beginning because we would just have like a whole list the whole way around, but we just didn't do it for some reason. We brought it as we left. So it's something to think about if you are planning this trip, if you're planning even a smaller trip and you're finding all these spots and looking up research. I would definitely suggest getting it now and then, saving those spots as you plan.
Yeah. All right, the next one is...
I'm ready.
You really don't need that much.
That is so true. Wow, we're here now in Tasmania. We have dropped everything out of the van, out of the car, and what we're going to sort of do is we're lucky to stay at someone's house and we will then, as we think we need it, bring it back into our setup. We are getting rid of the van, so as we need it, we'll sort of like bring it back into the troopy rather than just going, oh, I'm sure we'll need it, because we did that last time and oh my goodness, we could fill a house, I reckon.
Yeah.
If we needed to stop and buy a house, straight into it we go.
But yeah, there is so much when we were emptying the van that we've not looked at since we left Perth. So it just, you really don't need to take that much with you. And
you just use the basics, don't you? Hey, like we wear the same clothes day in, day out. You'll see I look the exact same in every episode. If you go back 10 months ago, you'll see I'm probably wearing the exact same.
Probably.
And pack those extra warm things. It does get cold. You will need that. That's 100%. But try and look for something like I don't know why we didn't think of it before, but a 3-in-1 jacket.
Yep.
And then you've got all bases covered with it. So try and get those multi-purpose things, but you really do not need as much as what we pack. I wish we knew that before we left.
Leading on from what you mentioned with the jackets was follow the weather. Follow the good weather.
Absolutely. That was, I don't know, we knew better, but for some reason we did a trip and somebody said, oh, it's beautiful down down the south coast this time of year. You'll love it. It's 28 degrees. When we left, we had nothing but rain really and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, like still see the rainbows when it's raining and stuff, but it was just a bit of a dampener. It was hard, it was colder. You know, you couldn't do certain tracks because they were quite boggy and the likes. And we just found it hard and spent a bit of time in our caravan, unfortunately, just because of we just wasn't enjoying the rain and stuff like that. Yeah. So in the end, you'll see if you've been with us from the beginning, we ended up not cracking it, but we got to an intersection. I went, nah, we're going left, babe. Let's head up to the NT.
Yeah.
So I certainly do believe that having days like this is just, I don't know, I think it warms your soul a bit.
Yeah, follow the sun. It makes it much easier.
For me, baby. Please, what's the next one? I'm ready.
There needs to be more KFC.
Oh my goodness. Heading remote and then coming back. So all you want to do is find a good KFC. You know what you're going to get pretty much every time. Once you go remote, they are few and far between, and it's an absolute disgrace to Australia. Should we petition it?
I think we should.
We should look into this.
And as you said, you know what you're getting. So that leads on to the next one is eating out. Oh. It quite often leads to disappointment.
Well, this is a bit contradictory, isn't it? When we have splurged and tried to eat out and stuff like that, 100% honest, we have been very disappointed in the meals. Even at places that you thought, nah, it's got to be good. We just really haven't had that many good meals out as that little treat. And our budget is pretty tight, so we try not to do it as often as we can, but we've just been disappointed every time and just gone, man, I wish we went home and cooked. Even just made ravioli or spag bowl would have been better than what was served up.
When you think about what else you could have spent that money on instead, we found that just eating out, it just wasn't worth it.
It's hard because every dollar we save, in my mind now, everything that's another week on the road and stuff like that, or another day on the road. So just that mindset for us really, but being devastated sucks.
Yes, yes it does. Supermarkets in remote areas. 1, they can be very expensive, and 2, you've actually got to find them.
A place that really springs to mind when we think about this is the Northern Territory. I don't know, I just assume that they would have at least pretty decent IGAs and stuff, but with how remote they are and actually how many people live in those communities or towns, their prices are pretty rich, to be honest. But I can appreciate that it's a long way out and stuff like that, don't get me wrong, but just something we wasn't aware of, getting out there, and you go to places near Uluru, the town's Yala, and their IGA there is quite expensive, but then between there and I think Alice Springs is probably the next sort of town to really like stock up as well. And then you have very small community general stores, which are, I think they don't have prices. And the first time I stuffed up, I think I grabbed bacon and it was $30 for a kilo. And so.
We learned pretty quickly to, when we're in those bigger towns that have the big name ones like the Woolies or Coles, was where possible, stock up.
Especially your non-perishables and stuff like that, your pastas and things like that. But yeah, it was just a bit, I just didn't know, you know, we've lived in remote locations, Karratha and Broome and stuff, but I just wasn't aware that in those remote places, you just really don't have too much of an option and stuff.
Yeah, just stock up when you can. That's probably a big tip.
Hey, quick intermission too. We've got products on the website if you want to head over. You don't have to, but if you feel like it, go suss them out. There's a couple of other tips and tricks as well. We appreciate your support. Cheers.
Choosing the right vehicle to be able to get parts around Australia. This 100%. Was a big one for us. Yep. We've obviously got the Land Cruiser, which comes quite easy when it comes to getting parts. But we travel with Beau's old man and his Ranger.
He's had a few issues with it. And parts to find are just crazy. And every Ford we went to said the same thing, that at the moment their parts departments are terrible. I'm not, you know, I'm not biased in any way with this sort of stuff. Me personally, all I want is practicality and something that's just going to go, to be honest. I don't care what you own or what you have. This Troopy here, I honestly just wanted a 70 series. And this came up, we thought, yep, let's give it a crack. And you know, we're falling in love with it, we can live out of it and things like that, which is great. But I certainly just want it for the 70 series aspects, because we can get parts all around Australia. The mines use them so much. They're just so easily accessible, easier to fix and things like that. So just keep that in mind. And then another thing with that too is all the electrics in the vehicle. As soon as one sort of thing goes wrong, you're stuck in limp mode or something like that, and you're going to struggle to sort of get to a spot, or especially in those remote locations and stuff, sometimes you're going to struggle to find somebody who knows enough about the electronics and things, because every car is different. They don't try and make them the same and stuff. So that mechanic has to know everything about it, plus the electronic side of it, and it is quite difficult. So it's just something to bear in mind. Whatever car you buy, you know, is hopefully right for you, but just really think about it. And you know, don't get me wrong, I know the cruisers definitely have their issues, but at the end of the day, I've been able to get parts wherever. Ask a mechanic, like if you've never owned a four-wheel drive or something like that, maybe ask the mechanic some advice on what do they find is their best four-wheel drive or something like that, especially to work on. Like I've heard of some people saying that just changing something simple is a hassle in certain things, like you've got to pull an engine out or just to get to a certain part and things like that. So I'm no expert, but I certainly just want reliability and something that's going to start every time. And she's been good to us. That's why I'm struggling to part with her. We're not putting her up for sale. She's been so good. She's got us around Australia. Just give her a kiss.
The next one is document everything. We are so glad that we are doing this and sharing it, not only just sharing it with you guys, but having those memories for us. The amount of things that we've forgotten we've done until we look back at a video or a photo and go, oh my God, like the things we have done. Yep. Document everything, whether it be writing it down, taking photos, taking videos, just remember.
Yep, because it's an amazing thing, you know, not everybody gets to do this. You're obviously passionate about it. It might be a once in a lifetime opportunity. So you're really going to want to capture those memories, moments, and keep them for as long as you can, because like we've just done our recap for 2023.
Like just looking back at what we've done in the last 10 months, and it's pinch yourself stuff.
Yeah. It's just like, wow. Yeah, couldn't recommend that enough. Doesn't have to be to put out to the world, but for you to look back on is just it's amazing.
And that brings us on to number 10.
Which is?
Stop and take a breath.
You've got some good advice in this video. I'll give you the tip. We really, you know, we still find ourselves rushing sometimes, don't we? And it's
like you got to get here, you got to get there, but just slow down and enjoy it.
Yep.
I get if you're on a bit of a time crunch, like you do have to move a little bit faster with things, but really pick the things you want to do.
Yep.
And just be in that moment and stop thinking about the next spot and the next spot.
100%. You did this for yourself. Don't worry about what other people have to say to a degree. Like, take people's advice on where to go and see, but this trip's all about you and your family potentially. So go and do what you want to do and make the most of it, but do not rush it. Just appreciate life for what it is and how amazing it is that you get to do whatever you're going to do. Again, if it's going to be a short trip or a long trip, find those spots that you want to go to personally and give them a crack and have a look at them from your perspective and your eyes. I'll give you a red hot tip though. There's a few overrated places, those big ticket ones. I think it's just a mindset when you're like going to fly to a spot and then check it out, and then when you're traveling on the road, it's a bit different, I believe. So, you know, something to think about is all those ones that are raved about and hyped up might not be those gems that you're looking for.
Yeah, little bonus tip there for you.
Apparently. I'm getting right into it.
But that's 10 things. We probably could go on forever, but
if you've got any questions that you maybe want answered, please leave them below, and maybe we can try and do another video like this and get them answered. Maybe another little Q&A type thing. But thank you so much for your support. Honestly, this is a whirlwind. the most amazing thing we've ever done in our lives, apart from marrying this one. I just love it, I truly do. And the fact that we get to spend each day together is all because of you watching at home, and we'll never forget that. So your support, no matter big or small, just means the absolute world to us, and we appreciate you so much. You're an absolute bloody legend. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for being with us. And we'll catch you in the next one. And the next one's going to be in 2024. I hope you're gearing up for a big year, because we are that excited for what's to come.
It had to be in it, didn't it?
Because I'm excited. Let's go. She's a bit nervous, mate. We've got cars driving around, people watching us. Look at this view though, would you? Stop it. Hey, how you going? What's the next one, honey? Honey, honey, what's the next one? I am ready to answer that one.
Easier. You're distracted.
Watching surf lifesavers, mate. I wonder what they're doing. Just cruising around the buggy? That's killer. I wish we got that on film. The buggy almost crashed
You must be learning how to drive it.
into the rocks.